channel, changing lives.
Hello, good evening, and you're welcome to the month of February. Yes, it is Love Month, and I love this month so much because I'm a love girl. On this note, I want to welcome you to Love at Home. Love at Home, you're welcome. My dear, let me remind you that you need to like, share, invite your friends that Love at Home is on the screens. It can also be looked on or watched from Hope Channel Ghana and also YouTube and Facebook. Remember to like, subscribe and share. This month we are looking at shades of love. This four-letter word love is an abused word. It's a slippery word, and everybody has its own meaning or understanding to the word love. This month we are going to discuss it, and more importantly today we are looking at the topic what love is, or what is love. I am your host, Efia Sewa Mansa, and I have a very beautiful and handsome man. I'm combining the words. Pastor Dr. Josiah Ando.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
I am so glad because I'm sure you're also glad when it is the love of month.
Oh, yeah. Love is sweet.
Oh, you.
So February.
See how he's qualifying it.
So it's February and we are here. We call it month of love.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
You are watching The Love Consultant, Dr. Josiah Ando. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Nia onyankopon hwehwa ne se onipa bia bedi yie e wasase so eno ti adwuma bia wo ye no wo hia ho nindie ene nkyerɛkyerɛ papa mpanifo se sanwa beba kontomre enkwan ani a na eginemu nam so eno nti na Hope Channel edi dwumadi a ye friend se Business Forum abrewo ya wada nwumre no nwotwe bia ne kyerɛ 8 pm hia me na nakwa mesika me ne mpanimfo a wa ben no wadɔ sukɔ e wo sikasɛmu adadie mu any enyuma mu be sinkonya ni amawo nkyerɛkyerɛ papa a ɛbɛboa na nso watimi atumpɔn piao.
Good evening once again, and you are welcome back from that quick commercial break. You are watching Love at Home, and we are discussing what love is. As I said earlier, we need to understand and know what love is. People have different perceptions about love. To some people, love is all about attraction. To some people, when I need something and you give it to me, it means you love me. Others do not see it that way. That is why today we want to discuss what love is all about. Join me. Remember, you can send your contributions and questions to 0559 680066. 0559 680066 will be looked at. Thank you. Now, love consultant.
Yes, madam.
In your own view, personal view, what is love?
Wow. Okay. Thanks for this question. When this question is asked, it becomes difficult. But I would normally begin the definition from the dictionary.
Okay.
That's where we begin from. Most dictionaries would say that love is an intense feeling of deep affection.
Intense and deep.
Yes. Okay, so affection. Mm-hmm. That has to do with, affection is a feeling. Mm-hmm. It's like you feel favorable towards something or someone. Mm-hmm. And when that feeling is deep and intense, then we say you love it.
Okay.
This is a flower. You can say, I like the flower.
Okay.
And the understanding is that, okay, this, your affection for the flower is not so deep.
Okay.
And you can say, I love this flower.
All right.
Now that means that it goes beyond just the fact that, oh, you like the color, you like this, to a certain feeling of affection.
Okay.
And that is love.
Wow.
But of course, I believe that our discussion is in the context of not loving a flower, or I love my car.
Or an object.
Or just an object. Somebody will say, I love Love at Home, the program. And the person would always sit on TV every Tuesday, you know, because the program is educative and all that. I love the program. So the person has a certain feeling. Let the lights go off. The person will be angry with the owners of the lights, you know, and all that. So that is it. And when we talk about a human being, it is still this deep, intense affection for that human being. And so love involves elements of emotion, elements of attraction, elements of a choice. You know, you make a choice to be with somebody, or to actually invest that emotion towards the person. And of course, we would say it is also a principle. Because once you have that element of that emotion towards the person or the thing, then it behoves on you to do certain things. And that is a principle.
Interesting. So why is love so much talked about in our everyday language? Because I'm sure in a day, you can mention the word love, God knows how many times. I love you, I love this, I love that. Why is this so much important?
Well, I think that human beings bear the, we bear the image of God.
Okay.
And biblically, the most dominant character of God is love.
Yeah.
And so generally, generally speaking, everybody has some qualities of love in him or her.
God has given it to us free.
Yes, it is embedded in every.
Yeah.
And of course, because we have blood running, up and down our veins, and this blood is being pumped by the heart, we have emotions. We get scared when we meet something scary. Fear, which is an emotion, you know, and all that. We respond to that kind of stimuli. And so when we see something that also evokes that emotion, that positive emotion of affection, we love. For that reason, it is part of us. It's part of life. Why do we use it often? We use it often because it does things for us. You know, many young men would see a young lady who say, I love you, because when you say it, you make her happy, and when she's happy, she makes you happy too. And so you would use that word and all that. And of course, when it comes to objects, we express that emotion as well. I love the flower. I love the car. I love the set. I love the program. Because we actually do. And it is part of our human makeup to express that kind of positive emotion toward people, toward objects and all that. And I'm sure that is why it's generally part of us.
This attribute God gave us is strong.
Yes.
It's really, really strong. Now, Pastor, sometimes you get confused what real love is. We have this obsession, lust, and infatuation. How do I know what I'm feeling is the true love?
Okay, warning, I may be talking long here.
Please do. I need that because I've mentioned three key things.
Yes, exactly.
Infatuation, obsession, and lust.
Yes.
How do I know the difference?
Okay, so I have met people who have told me that I don't believe in love.
Okay.
I've met people like that. And then you ask why. Well, I loved this person, and the person betrayed me. So normally when you hear someone saying, I don't believe in love, the point is that the person has actually suffered a bitter
There's an experience
out of being in love. And so you see, I gave my all to him. I gave my all to her. But eventually, this was what he paid me with. This was what she paid me with. So I don't believe in love. Love does not exist. I hear people say that. And then I tell them, you know, if you say that everybody is fake, and that what they call love is fake, you know, have you ever seen a 3 CD note before? And the answer is no. Why don't we, the question I ask is, have you seen a 3 CD counterfeit note? It doesn't exist. You know, you won't see counterfeit 3 CD note or 30 CD note, counterfeit. You wouldn't see it. Reason, the original does not exist. So if there is a fake version of it, then there is an original. That is why you see 20 CD note which is fake, because there is an original. If you are telling me all the love around is fake, it means there is original. There is true love. The point I'm making is that we have love. It does exist. It is original, but there is also fake love. And that is what we will call infatuation. Now, infatuation is also a feeling. Intense.
And deep.
And deep. But it is not the, you know, I mean, if I want to create a counterfeit money, I would make sure it bears the semblance of the original. In the same vein, love, like we have said, God, it is God's nature. He has put it in us. It is God's nature to love us. So he has put it in us to love. But there is a counterfeit. Now, the counterfeit of love is not hatred. Even though hatred is more like the opposite, but not the counterfeit. The counterfeit of love is normally described as infatuation, or is given the name infatuation. It is the other side. It looks exactly like love, because when you love, it is characterized by, I would normally say, 3 things. One, that feeling of, you know, affection is there. The strange emotion, you know, things happen to you. It's like I said, it's
you can't explain it.
Things happen to you that you can't explain. You hear the person's name, you get goosebumps all over.
Are you talking from experience? Please continue.
All right, yeah, from experience of people around me.
I see.
And of course myself.
That's good.
You see the person and your heart misses a bit or starts. No, this kind of strange emotion is there. So the affection is there. The strange emotions are there. And then the feeling of nearness. You want to be close to the person. That is it. You want to keep the person around you. And that is why when we lose loved ones, automatically it evokes an emotion of sadness in us. Because I love my mother, I love my father. I want the person around all the time. The same applies to the counterfeit, which is infatuation. That when you are infatuated, you have a deep sense of affection for the person. That's the attraction. You also have that deep, strange emotion. It happens to you.
And nearness.
And you want the person close to you. It happens. For that reason, it becomes difficult for people to tell whether this is true love or infatuation. So there is a difference. Now, normally, you mentioned lust and you mentioned obsession. Normally, infatuation expresses itself in the form of love, or in the form of lust, or obsession. So let me explain these two. Then I'll come back to the 2 main things I'm talking about, love and infatuation. So that when I talk about lust, it is also an intense feeling, but this time around, it has to do with the physical appearance of whoever. So you are lusting after it, and it is mostly sexual. So it is the erotic aspect of the, the expression, how you are feeling towards somebody. So I see a woman, and when I say I am lusting after her, it is not because I feel so much affection for her and that I really want to be with her. No, I want to have sexual intercourse with her. That is lust. It is intensive, and it is deep, and it is also a feeling.
Yeah.
But it is not affection.
Yeah.
So it is lust. Now, obsession is another form of expression where you are, when we say you are obsessed, we are talking about you want to,
You crave for something
you
badly.
you want to have it all to yourself. It's obsession. Love expresses itself in wanting the person, but does not claim
Ownership.
Like, like you are so obsessed. Without the person, you can't eat, you can't even breathe properly, you can't sleep. That is not how love expresses itself.
Yeah.
So infatuation expresses itself in the form of lust and obsession. But there is a difference between love, that is the true, the genuine, and then there is counterfeit, which is infatuation. There is that difference which we need to clearly point out. So that when I am in love, when I love somebody, one of the characteristics, so I'll share a few characteristics. One of the characteristics of love is that it develops slowly.
Okay.
It is not as rapid as infatuation is. Mm-hmm. So it is slow. You don't see somebody today and then you are head over heels in love with the person. Mm. It is not normal.
So the love
at first sight does not exist.
Hey.
What
Say it again.
does love at first sight does not exist. Mm. You can see something for the first time or someone for the first time and you will admire the person. You will like the person. You just like the way the person is. Oh, this is a beautiful lady. This is a handsome guy. This is a nice flower. I like it. I admire it. That one is there. But you are not in love. It is not love. So at first sight, it is possible to have an intense yearning, an intense feeling deep for somebody. It is not love. Okay. It is lust. And that is how infatuation expresses itself.
Okay.
So if you begin feeling that way all at once within
the first
meeting, the first 1 week, it is not love.
Okay.
Now, reason is that love takes time. You see the person, you like the person, he's nice, she's nice, that is cool. But as you interact with the person, you get to admire many more qualities, and these things draw you closer and closer, and then the love would grow.
Okay.
So love is slow in developing. Infatuation is rapid.
Wow. Now, we sometimes hear our parents saying, for example, a girl or a woman is entering into marriage, then they want to push the lady into a particular marriage. Then you hear the girl saying, I'm not in love with a man. Then normally parents will say, oh, go. As for love, it grows. It will grow. So the fact that you are saying love develops,
yeah,
is it enough to say that because of that we should go into it?
Well, by the way, I will come back to the differences I was pointing out. But let me pick this one and then I come back to that. It is true that love grows. Love develops, and of course you can't say that you've reached the highest level of love after meeting, you've been married for years, but as I talked about it being based on what you experience with the person. So the more you experience this good side of the person, the more your love grows. So it is possible. However, I will not advise you to start a relationship or to go into marriage with somebody that you don't feel anything for. In the name of
it will grow.
It will grow. Growth begins with a seed. So first there must be a seed. So if there was no seed, what will grow? If the person annoys you, the person's physical appearance does not even attract you, puts you off. It is not going to change when you continue to be with the person. Except if you are able to identify some good qualities in the person as you move along, or some of the physical features change along the line, which is not very likely. That there's a likelihood, but it is not so high. So if, for example, you meet somebody, you like the way the person talks, you enjoy the person's conversation, but there is some other thing that you don't like about the person, so you see that, oh, the love is not there, but you enjoy talking to the person. It means that there is something that you can actually grow on. You love the way he relates with you, the way she relates with you. That is something to begin from. In that case, I would tell you to, okay, keep talking. And you are likely to discover many more good things that will draw you closer, that will make the thing that you don't like, it will dwarf it. It will just dwarf it. And then you would be able to make a decision. I mentioned earlier that it involves the mind, the mind as well. You need to make a decision and say that, yes, truly, I will go for this person, knowing that that's how the person is. But if you don't feel anything, you are likely to continue not feeling anything, even in the marriage.
So nothing will grow in the marriage?
No, because there was no seed to begin with.
Yes. Now, continue with the
Yes, I was talking about the differences. So I talked about the fact that it comes rapidly and love is slow. And then the other way around, love would end slowly. If you really love somebody and for some reason you are parting, it is slow. Infatuation, you are head over heels in love today, tomorrow, it's gone.
So the way it came, it is the way it will go. Oh, okay.
So it's also, dies off rapidly when it is infatuation. Another thing is love faces reality. Love recognizes reality. Infatuation does not. Now, when I talk about reality, and I'm saying this in the context of a man and a woman in a relationship, they say they love each other and they want to get married. The reality on the ground is that this person is not, or this person is like this. And normally when I use this, I want to dive into the issue of health incompatibilities. Okay, so the reality is that you are not compatible so long as your health is concerned. For example, the reality is that this person is sickle cell, the genotype is AS. And you are also AS. The reality is that your children, in each pregnancy, you are likely to have 1 out of 4 chances in each pregnancy to have a child who is a sickler. And that doesn't really, it's not a good, it's 25% chance.
Which is
it's not a good statistic for the life of a human being. Therefore, it is advisable that you break up. If you really love that person, you will recognize that the reality is that we are not compatible so long as health is concerned. Therefore, let's break up. That is how love thinks. Infatuation would push aside the reality and go in, even though everything shows that it's not worth it.
Pastor, you need to say this again. This is serious. You are telling me that I've dated this woman or this man for a long time.
And I love her so much.
I love her so much.
So I don't want her to suffer in future.
And you are telling me with this whole thing,
yes, because I love her so much, I don't want her to spend half of her life taking care of our children in the hospital.
So that is how love thinks.
Love would say, look, sweetheart, I love you so much. If we get married, unless we decide that we are getting married and we will not have children, in each pregnancy, we have 1 out of 4 chances, 25% chance of giving birth to a sickle cell child. And if you have been with a sickle cell patient who is in crisis, you will understand. Parents of sickle cell, the way money goes into the health of such children and all that, of course, it's not a health, I don't want to talk so much about that. But if you know that, then you'll be like, sweetheart, we'll be better off if we don't get married. Or even if we get married, we'll be better off if we don't have children. That is how love thinks.
Okay.
Infatuation will ignore the reality on the ground. Infatuation will ignore the incompatibility. Our fates are different. Oh, love conquers all things. No, it isn't love. If it is love, you recognize that we are different in these things and we may not really make it, make a very happy home the way we would prefer it to be. And you would make an informed decision. So infatuation, I can go on and on and on. Another thing.
Another example. Another example.
Okay, fine, good. So another thing about infatuation is that it doesn't listen to others.
Okay.
Love listens to others. No, so in other words, I would say love is not blind.
Okay.
Infatuation is blind. You often hear people say love is blind. Love is blind. Love is not blind. Love can see. So if I'm in love with somebody, if I'm in love with somebody.
So you see, today you're talking about the reverse of what people are saying. And I like the angle you're coming from,
yes.
Pastor.
Love is not blind. Love is not deaf. Love can see. Love can hear.
And feel.
Yes. Infatuation will not see. Because infatuation has an interest.
Okay.
The interest, like I said, it expresses itself in lust and obsession. So that's where the interest is. So it is blinded. If I'm in love with somebody, I am not blinded to the danger signals so I am not blind at all. Rather, so the reason for it people will say love is blind is that because I'm so infatuated and it is all about feeling, we don't add the mind to it. Yeah. Therefore, even when the guy is misbehaving, oh, Kobe, I still love you. It is infatuation talking. Because when it is love, you can see that Kobe doesn't dress well. Or Efia doesn't, should I say Efia?
Please go ahead.
Let me use a different name.
Please.
All right. No, I normally use Efia in my example.
Please go ahead.
Right. Efia is like this. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, I am not going to accept it. Or Kobe doesn't like bathing. However, I see, not that I have not sinned, I have sinned, but I can still accept him like that. That is love talking. So love will see, will hear, that is listen to significant others. Mother advising, father advising, brothers, friends.
So the environment and everything.
You are conscious of everything.
Yourself, yeah.
But if you are deciding to go, that's why I say it's a decision. If you are deciding to go and you are making an informed decision that, I know he doesn't like to bath, but I'm okay. I think I can deal with smelly and pits. I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
But infatuation would not even see at all. Because the interest, and that is the next point I want to mention, the interest of infatuation is physical.
Okay.
So in infatuation, we are talking about just physical. And because it expresses itself in lust, it is mostly sexual in nature. So it will not be able to survive separation. Mm-hmm. The moment we are not seeing each other, we are not touching each other, we are not doing things, it vanishes, it diminishes. Mm-hmm. But if it is love, it is able to survive separation because it is a principle. The principle is that I have to be nice to you, I have to be kind, I have to be selfless, I have to this, I have to that, I have to that. So you don't have to, I don't have to be touching you, I don't have to be having sex with you before I can say I am in love with you.
Okay. Okay.
I can love even without those
things,
elements.
yeah.
But infatuation, it actually feeds on those elements. Without that, it vanishes. And that these are the tests that we can tell that, well, I am only lusting after this lady, or I'm only lusting, I just like his dimple, and it makes it so nice. When I see it, oh, my body is doing something. It is lust. Or I am so obsessed about him, or I'm obsessed about her. It is infatuation. When it is love, it operates on principle, and it's more sensible.
This is so interesting. Now, Pastor, is it possible to love everybody, or love is sort of selective?
Okay. All
Because
this while,
I am asking this because sometimes in church, you see a young man or a young woman, oh, I love you, oh, I love you. And it's like in the church, he loves everybody. And he himself is confused.
All
the
right.
young women are also
All
confused.
right.
That is why I'm asking that.
Okay. All this while, we have been talking about special love.
Yes.
And when I started, I mentioned that love is part of us. God's nature is love. And it is in the Bible. Love one another. So that the whole world will know that you are my disciples.
Yes.
The word used there is the Greek agape.
Okay.
The Greek word agape, every time the Bible expresses God loving us, the word used there is agape. And I mean, when Jesus was asking Peter, do you love me? He used agape, agapao mu, like, do you love me? It is a reference to unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
It is love that you exert to everybody.
Okay.
So if I tell you that I love you, apologies to your husband, I do, it is agape. Agape as in, I love you. If I see you in trouble, I will have this feeling of, no, she shouldn't be in trouble.
Yes.
Let me go out there and help her.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if in order not to offend anybody, love for even, in quotes, mad people.
Yeah.
We love. So we love
Animals,
everybody. Animals.
creatures.
So it's agape.
Yeah.
That is love. If somebody is my friend, I have a special type of love for that person. It is called philos. So in the Greek, English, it is still the same word, love.
Love.
But the Greek will express it as philos.
All right.
Or phileo, like loving, friendly,
Okay.
brotherly love. There is even storge. There's a kind of love that I have for my wife, for my daughter, for my father, for my mother, the family. So if I have to choose between family and a friend, it is love that tells.
Yes.
And we have different types of
Types
love.
of love.
So when we say that, your question was, can I love everybody? Yes, in fact, I should love everybody. However, when it comes to the love between a man and a woman, and that is mainly what that's why I said it's a special type of love. It is expressed in eros. The Greek word is eros, which is erotic love. Love expressed in sexual, language. So when it is eros, then it can be everybody.
That is true.
When it is philos, it can be everybody. It is for only your friends. But agape is for everybody. So in order to avoid confusion, some people will use the word like, and all that. And it is simply because our English language is limited in the uses of the word love. But in terms of expression, we should love everybody. But if you have a special affection for somebody, then that makes it different. When we are talking about Valentine, my 7-year-old daughter asked me about Valentine. And then I try to explain, say that it is not only during Valentine that we show love. Don't I show love to you every day? I do. So it is more about caring for each other, and it is for everybody. But when it is special, let it be special. So, and when it's special, it means that it is just one person that you have that kind of expression for. When it is infatuation, it can be multiple. You have this, so you love, you can actually have a Ross love for this one, for this one, for this one. It's infatuation. Because the interest is not in commitment. The interest is in the physical things, which is sex.
So infatuation can be so many.
Yes, you can actually
one person can
be infatuated toward X, Y, and Z at the same time. Because your interest is not a commitment. It's not like you are going to be with the person or you really desire to be with the person. What you are looking for the person is to be able to get this from him or her.
So this explains why some people will say, I have a boyfriend, then to the girl, the boy has another girlfriend, and you think he's a play. They call it a play.
Yeah,
or something.
He calls himself a player. He thinks he's playing. No, it is not. It's not like you love. The person doesn't really love all of them. It is infatuation. Because the interest is on what I get from it. That's where the interest is. It is not in commitment. And love is, some people say love is a doing word, it's a verb. That's why we say it's a principle. You have to do some things for the person. It shouldn't be about what you are getting from the person. So the reason for which she's keeping 3 men is because this one pays bills, this one buys lunch, and this one...
That's the other one.
All right.
This is interesting. So is love something that we can, you earlier on said that love can be deliberately developed. How can we do this?
Okay. Yes, I said it grows. It can be developed. And I say this normally when I'm dealing with people who are already
in marriage.
In marriage or in a committed relationship.
Yes, but married people are also watching.
Yes.
That is why I'm asking this question.
So somebody will tell you the love that was there is gone.
Aye.
And it happens a lot. Now, why did it go? Did it even go? There's a song that I would always love. Flowers will not grow in a garden of stones. The ground must be tended.
Very true.
If you leave it undone, the stones would so it will not grow.
It will squeeze it.
If you want to have a beautiful garden, you need to take care of the garden. And that is how love works. It is like the human body. When you don't exercise some part of your body, it will die off. So we would have to exercise it. We would have to express it. We would have to show it. The more you do it, the more it grows. And that is a natural law. That's why we say love is a principle. It follows principle. So I am with my wife, I'm with my husband, and we are just like brother and sister. We are just there, roommates, just there, nothing, no feeling, nothing. Oh, okay, you've come back from work. I'm watching my TV, I'm pressing my phone, nothing. When these things happen, love dies off or it goes stale. So we would have to deliberately work on bringing it back. It's like you want to spice it up. Sometimes I'll recommend pretending. Even though it is not really pretending, but I'll recommend that you pretend. Now, if I say pretend, you don't
to bring it back.
Yeah, just to bring it back. You don't really feel like giving your husband a hug, or you don't feel like giving your wife a peck on the forehead, but do it anyway. So it's not like you are pretending, but because of what is happening within you, it is like you are pretending. So do the occasional hug, do the occasional peck on the forehead or on the cheeks or wherever. It will reignite what used to be there. Whatever feelings he or she had when you first hugged or kissed or whatever, it will reignite them. Or you don't feel like sending that text message, sweetheart, I love you. There's a husband listening to me who doesn't remember the last time he sent such a message.
Or a wife.
And he's saying that, or a wife, and he's saying that husband is saying that if I should send, she would think it's because I want something. Send it anyway. you know, just do it. It will, like I said, because of what is happening with you, it will be like you are pretending. But do it. Now, when you do it, you will reignite what was dead. So these are some ways in which you can actually build back the love that you think is dying off.
We need to rekindle our love. This is what the love consultant is saying. Let's go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, he will continue with the examples of how we can rekindle our love. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to Hope Channel. And of course, to your favorite program, Watch These Signs.
As long as you are not in that boundary, he will do all kinds of things to protect you so that you continue to move. There are times some things should have happened which should have crushed you to death. But because of the power of God, to give you extra more time so that you can consider the issues of eternity. From plug things
On the farm.
Verse 23.
Yes, and that was when the Pharisees came, then he made this statement. And that is the same response people give today. That the Sabbath law says, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do this, don't touch this, don't go to market, don't. And so people use this text to tell you that even Jesus.
Hello, you are welcome. The program is Love at Home. You see, I'm saying love. Yes, the program is Love at Home, and we are discussing what love is. And Doc was telling us how we can rekindle our love between husband and wives. Please, we need more.
Yes, that's fine. I'm going to give more. You know, so I mentioned being intentional about it and trying to do even when you don't feel like doing. Just do. But there are other things that I would mention that if you want to rekindle, sometimes it shouldn't be so raw.
So?
Raw.
Raw, okay.
All right. So, I mean, when I say raw, this is what I mean. Yes, I can just send a message to my wife or to my husband, sweetheart, I love you. It means a lot. It is beautiful. But then, apart from just saying it, how about I buy a piece of chocolate on my way home? You know, when somewhere, I think in the early 2000s, Ghana declared Valentine's Day National Chocolate Day, yeah. You know, so that we can consume chocolates. Fine. And so people exchange chocolate, they exchange and all that. It is beautiful when you do it in action, so that you don't just say it.
Say it, yeah.
You put it into action. So how about on my way from work, I buy something nice. Maybe my wife or my husband likes food from a particular restaurant. So on my way home, just buy it, package it. Or maybe you call ahead, today we shouldn't cook or something. Then let's go out and eat. Of course, this is it involves money, but it is worth it. If you spend so much money to have quality time with the family and build rekindle the love that is dead. It can bring something. Another way is if your husband has been doing something in the house all the time. Maybe he's the one who lays the bed, or he's the one who weeds the garden, or he's the one who cooks, or the other way, the wife is the one who does this. You can decide that today I want to take charge of this. Now, these are ways of showing love. But most of the time, we have become so traditional. When I say traditional, I mean we do the same things over and over, and we've become so used to them. We don't want to put in some kind of innovation. But if, for example, it is my wife who cooks all the time, and I decide that today I want to, for a change, I want to go and help. I'm using the word help advisedly. it makes the person feel good, feel like, oh, my husband has actually come here to cut the onions, even though he cut them a bit bigger than I would want, but you feel good about it, you know. Or, whoa, he's sweeping the room, he's scrubbing
he's laying the bed.
He's laying the bed. Oh.
He's cleaning the washroom.
He's playing with the kids. It makes me happy. So these are practical ways in which we can rekindle the love. You can think about maybe a gift that is, you know, every February I give a lot of tips on how you can be romantic. You know, and this one I'm just saying that be romantic. Do something in a very nice way. If the person's hobby is, say,
watching movies,
then give the person a gift that will help the person to watch the movies better. You know, if the person has been watching movies on the phone, give a gift that maybe a magnifier, something. You have to think about the person's hobby and give a gift that is that relates will meet the person's hobby. The person will be so excited that, oh, so you thought about me. You can even go back to the person's childhood, talk to the parents, talk to the friends. What has been her childhood wish? Oh, since she was a child, she has always wished to have this, and we never got it for her. Okay, I am getting it for her on Valentine's Day. And just the fact that you thought about it and gave it is something that will make the person feel exceptionally good, exceptionally loved. And so when it comes to practical ways of showing love, I mentioned, don't make it so raw. The next thing I will say is that try to remember how it was. Now, how was it? Every love story was nice at the beginning. And if you want to make your food nice, your soup that you've eaten for 2 weeks nice, one way of doing it is to bring back some of the old ingredients back into the soup. So what were the things that we used to do? Do you remember that we used to go for a walk around the neighborhood? Let's do it today. Let's put down our phones, our tablets, our laptops, and just go for a walk. Even if it is 20 minutes, it means so much. You do this and you're able to bring back the love in the home. And for me, these are some of the ways.
Pastor, there's a question for you. Hello, good evening. My name is Laura from Kumasi. My question is, can you love two people at the same time? I think we've asked this, but for the sake of people who may have
Laura, we answered it earlier. Yes, you can love many people at the same time. However, if it is love that is love related to male-female erotic love, it has to be one person. The moment you find it being 2, 3, at least, the rest of them are not love. It may be infatuation. But if it is real love, eros, it is going to be one person. So that is it. But of course, you have to love me, you have to love her, you have to love all of us at the same time. That is agape. So you can love so many people at the same time, but when it comes to the special love that we put in marriage, it should be for just one person.
Now, a question, Pastor, from our discussion, we were saying that love has attention, it has emotion and all that. Where do we stand? Should we have all these elements before we can say that there is love? Affection, attention, attraction, emotion, and all that.
All right. Yes, I think we should have, but it should all should operate on principle.
Okay.
So I started by saying love is a principle, but we can't say there is no emotion in love because it is itself an emotion. However, we can't just say this emotion is love. So this is how I will explain it. I meet a lady. She's beautiful and all. She has the qualities that I want to see. I feel attracted to her.
Okay.
It is not love.
Yeah.
It is attraction. I like her nose. I like her hips. I like this. I am attracted to her. She is also attracted to me. She likes my nose or whatever part of my body, you know. She likes it. We are attracted to each other. Now, that attraction is likely to arouse sexual emotions.
Yeah.
So if we don't take care and we continue from that point, we are building our relationship on infatuation, which is wrong. But then, after being attracted to the person, what next is attracting me to the person? And this is where the qualities within the person come in. And these qualities, it is not just, we don't just see it because we are emotionally, attracted and all that. We see it because we are mentally connected.
Okay.
So I see that this person, okay, apart from being beautiful, she's hardworking. Every time we talk, oh, I'm going to work, I'm doing this, oh, this person really is committed to work. When the boss wants a deadline, she wants to meet the deadline. So I have identified one quality in the person. The next thing I see, okay, I call the person says, oh, there are some children in my area, they are hungry, I'm cooking for them. Oh, this person has so much kindness. I begin identifying some qualities in the person that draw me closer and closer and closer. And that is where I begin to make a decision and say that I want to be with this person.
Okay.
So love encompasses all that. It is, the emotion is there, which is the feeling, and we shouldn't let that one take the lead.
Okay.
The moment we allow that one to take the lead, we will allow infatuation to take over. The mental component is there, where you are thinking about qualities in the person, of course, together with the negative ones.
Yeah.
And then you are basing on these qualities to make a decision. So the mental component is there. And of course, the attraction, which puts you together, the social element, the way the two of you relate, the way the two of you connect with each other. These things they come together to make love.
Okay.
And so if you want to say you love, then we should see the
These
attraction, the social component, we should see the mental component, and of course the feelings are also important.
There's a question for you, please. Please, can you continue to text love messages to someone you love, but she doesn't give same response, yet she says she loves you?
Okay. I do not know what you have for the month. I know mentioned that.
Yes.
You mentioned the month shades of love.
Yes.
But I am sure, knowing you, I am sure you will be talking about love languages.
Languages, yes, it is
now,
there.
but for the sake of this question, let me mention we have different people who express love differently. For some, it is words of affirmation. When you send a message, the person is so excited, the person is so happy. For some, a message does not excite them. What excites them is when you help him to hold his back or to hold her back. So you need to know yourself, one, and know your partner. However, if your language is the words of affirmation and you feel like sending the message, go ahead and send. Love is most of the time reciprocal. But when you don't get it back, I know it is discouraging, but that doesn't mean you should stop. Still show your love. However, try to know the person and get to know how the person wants the love expressed. Some, it is gifts. Some, so I'm sure we'll come to that, to that side. So I don't want to go deeper.
Yeah.
So make sure you know your partner.
Okay, so what you are saying here is that he can be sending the love messages. Probably the lady is not too good at typing and will be sending love messages back, but maybe doing something different. But you were expecting same, so you think it's
so you think the person doesn't love. But maybe
you need to understand these love languages and how it opens for everybody.
But it is best that the two would get to know each other and learn to do what the other would prefer, and that makes it best.
Pastor, I have more questions here. Please, can you continue dating a lady after 5 years when she is still not ready for marriage?
Okay, so this question may not be related to our discussion, but let me answer this person. That when we talk about dating, we are talking about friendship. But I want to believe the person is talking about courtship. They've started a relationship for 5 years. I know some who have done 10 years, and they are still not getting married. The question is, what are you doing?
What are you looking for?
What are you looking for? Normally, after 2-3 years of being in a relationship, you know enough to take a decision. Or you should, let me say, you should know enough to take a decision to either continue in the relationship into marriage or to end it. When it continues for too long, a lot of things are at stake and it's likely to affect the relationship. The question is, should you continue? Yes, why not? But the other side of the question is, when the person is not ready for marriage, the question then will be, why is the person not ready? Is it you that the person is not ready to marry, or the person is learning a trade in school, or doing something for which reason the person says, I want to hold on for a while? But for me, if you have been together for 3 years, beyond that, you are already getting into dangerous grounds in the relationship.
All right. So, please, is it advisable to date 2 people at the same time?
If it is dates, and it is just friends,
knowing yourself,
no emotional strings attached, you can do 22, 23, 100. It's not a problem. Yeah. But I believe this person is actually talking about a situation where you are already having some strings, some emotional strings, some commitments. It cannot be more than one person. It has to be only one person. Because now, assuming you are with these 2 people and they both come and say, I want to marry you, what do you do? So the moment the relationship moves away from the dating as in the friendship to a certain special element, then it has to be only one person.
And you need to decide.
And you are going, if you are going for a second person, then you have to end this one and go for the other.
Pastor, another question. Is it sinful to part ways with someone who seems to be falling deeply in love, whereby it isn't same at your end, for the reason to save your life and future?
All right, it is not a sin. In fact, it's not a sin to end a relationship. Even if tomorrow is your wedding and you have a good reason to come out of it, it is better for you than for you to go into it and start regretting later. So it's not a sin. But then, if the person is head over heels in love with you, and you have started a relationship, my question is, why then did you start the relationship? And why are you moving out? But that's not to say because you started, you should stay.
Yeah.
If you have a good reason to walk out of a relationship, go ahead and walk out. Because it is better to break an engagement than to get a divorce. But you should do it wisely. But you should do it wisely.
So that he doesn't break hearts.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, so our next question is, I dated a lady for 5 years. We are all working, but she's not ready for marriage. So it's making me have a feeling that she's playing with my emotions. So I am thinking of quitting it.
All right, this is a very, maybe we can talk about this because I may need more detail.
Yes.
But if what we have here is the only detail I will have, I will say start a conversation.
Engaging.
Sit down and talk about it. And I am sure you'll get to know her real reason for not wanting to commit.
Yeah.
And then you can advise yourself.
Now, your last words, please.
Oh, we are done?
Yes, our time
All right.
is fast, but I have just one question for you. Please, if your husband doesn't remember your birthday to wish you, if you dress and he's not able to say you look good, or he doesn't buy anything to surprise you, does the person truly loves you?
Maybe yes, because the person may be showing love in different ways. And different people show love differently. However, please, my dear husbands, try to remember the birthday. Today we have smartphones.
Yes.
You can just, if you, this is only one person. So type it, when you are saving the number, save the date of birth and tell the phone to remind you maybe to remind you 1 week ahead of time. Tell the phone to remind you. So please remember birthdays, remember anniversaries. They are important too. Most of the time, women they feel loved when such significant dates are remembered. So I'm pleading that the husband should do that. But my dear lady, if he doesn't do it, it doesn't mean he doesn't love you. It could mean that he's showing love in a different way.
But Pastor, the lady too can be doing it.
You
after
of course,
a well-shaved haircut.
You tell him.
You look good. Gradually, he
may learn
from
to speak the language that you are speaking.
Pastor, your last words, please.
All right, my last words. Love is sweet. Love is beautiful, but we will not be able to relate with it unless we understand it well. Most of the time, people misunderstand love, and that is why they experience the bitter elements. So focus on learning to know what true love is, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. This is February, month of love. Show your love, express your love, and enjoy the love. But don't let it stay only in February. Go as much as you can. Thank you.
It has been a very wonderful and interesting discussion. It is Shades of Love, and we are going to discuss more about love in this month. I have been doing this discussion with the love consultant, Pastor Dr. Josiah Ando. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
And you see the questions that came.
Yes.
We have lots of love questions to answer and to give. So please stay tuned. Every Tuesday, you're going to learn more. On this note, thank you so much for joining Love at Home, and we are glad that you enjoyed us. Take care and good night. Continue loving yourselves and to love your families. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.